This platform is for one race, human and independent thinkers. So if you identify as anything else or get your thoughts from your handler, this platform is not for you. For those who have your own open, independent mind, welcome to We Act the Truth. I'm your conversationalist, XL. This platform is presented to encourage you to be a better you using your own mind and common sense. I'd like to add that I will be using basic terms and I may not always be verbally correct because most of my deliveries are not scripted. I also like to add that I identify as one human, but I'll identify us as we have been labeled to simplify some of the topics we'll be discussing on this platform. Topics such as hope, patriotism, relationships, understanding, and regrets, just to name a few. I'd like to ask you to always remember to start each day out with clarity, no matter what you're going through. Always remember to remove you from you to see you clearly. Today's topic is relationships. And when we think relationship, we think preference. The kind of man you want, the kind of woman you want. And that preference is normally spearheaded by the type of religion that you practice or have practiced. I'd like to say that the religion I'm familiar with, this topic is not based on that religion. Because for me personally, I don't see offering my daughter up merely as a woman of marriage merely because she started a menstrual cycle. This is merely experience on my behalf that I'm speaking on. No disrespect to anyone's religion. But most people, when you become a young adult, one of the first things you are so overwhelmed with is no longer having to follow your parents or your guardian's rules. You're able to do what you choose when you choose. And one of those first acts of independence is relationships. And you couldn't be more wrong. Relationships carry 100 times more obligations, rules, and regulations than any parents or guardians' rules. And then they change constantly and rapidly. So the one thing that I must say is most folks start a relationship with only enough strength to be in a relationship. They have not acquired the strength that is required to maintain or walk away from a relationship if needed. You see, before you start any relationship, you must learn yourself. It's mandatory. If you don't learn yourself, it will never work. No matter how much you want to love someone. You see, before you start a relationship, the things such as trust, honor, commitment, security, and happiness, just to name a few, these are things, a few of the things that you must secure for yourself. These are things that you must have for yourself. These are things that you must learn. These are things that you take into a relationship. And when you meet someone else who have learned the same trust, faithfulness, happiness, security, everything that you know, when they have learned these things individually themselves and you start a relationship, that's where equality comes into a relationship. When the two of you bring your own individual foundation together, you unite foundations. Never start a relationship merely having nothing but you and what you see as love to carry into a relationship. Because the person that you know will either feel higher than or you will see them as less than. You will never be on a equal playing field or an equal foundation. So you must secure your own identity before you enter into relationships to be in an equal relationship. Excuse me. I like to speak about love at first sight. Most people wonder if love at first sight exists. It does. It really does. And I'll prove it. One of the definitions of love is a person or thing that is loved by one. So, love at first sight is someone identifying you, and immediately that person love that you are a person and not an animal. And then they love your attributes. Your attributes, they scream, hey, I love that type of skin. I love that kind of body. I love your hair. And that moment is when you should realize that love at first sight, their love is exterior. They don't know your interior. So they let you know that whatever it takes to pursue you, to inquire being in a relationship with you merely based on your exterior, you can make that work as long as you never change anything about your exterior. They didn't form a relationship with you to care about your interior. Those are the two halves that make the first whole of love at first sight. And the only other way you'll meet someone that can approach you and be honest about love at first sight is that they are a manipulator. They're manipulators. They see what you have accomplished for yourself and they want in. They want you to share everything that you have acquired for yourself. They want in on it. They want you to give them the approval to share those things with you. And if you reciprocate those feelings to not know them but give them that same attention back, then maybe y'all have more in common than you know. But the difference between love at first sight and in love at first sight is that in love at first sight can't exist. You see, in love at first sight means that there's no way you already know this person on a level where they're returning the same emotional connection to you. Because see, being in love means that you have to work together to create the love in the first place. So, in love at first sight does not exist. Being in love at first sight. But love at first sight, it exists. It's very much alive. So, don't ever get it confused. Love at first sight exists. In love at first sight does not. So, excuse me, I like to speak on the beginning of relationships. Usually at the beginning of a relationship, both parties normally send their representative to represent the union on each other's behalf. I'll play one role and I'll act out the other role. So I meet you. You're telling me everything that it is to know about you. You're telling me your likes, your dislikes, your do's, your don'ts, your wills, your wants. Mind you, I'm a complete stranger, as are you. And when it comes time for you to ask me about me, I'm conservative. I will feed off of everything you have given me to assure you I can close the deal with you. Because you told me that you don't like smokers. Guess what? I'm a smoker, but to get you, I'm going to tell you that I don't. You tell me that a man has to have his own car. Guess what? You pick me up from my brother's house, and that car you seen in the yard, it's mine, but I'm having some work done on it. Really belongs to my brother. You give a person everything they need to manipulate you, because good people give people that they think are good the benefit of the doubt. When in actuality, you never, you never, uh, um, you never divulge that type of private information. Never. It when you're talking about something, let talk lead up to proof before you go any further. Don't ever let talk be enough to go to the next level. And I hate to sound like I'm not about relationships. I'm all about relationships. But at the end of the day, if you cannot be 100% in it, be 100% out of it. And I'm for those not being victimized by it. So, excuse me, I'm so sorry. So, now that you've given me the ammunition that I need to manipulate you, what happens next is you realize that I'm not who you thought I was. But that's only after I get you to fall in love with me. Now that I have you in love with me, guess what? Something bad happened and it drove me to smoke a blunt. I wouldn't normally smoke, but that stressed me out so bad I think I want to try smoking weed. I was a weed smoker all along, but you told me how to manipulate you. And you say, well, I understand. And then more and more things start to change about me. But they're not really changing about me. It's just me becoming more comfortable around you to be who I really am. And that's not who you fell in love with. And so now, as they say, playing with emotions come into effect then, you see. But it's not how you may think. There are emotions being played with, and they are your emotions. But it's not me that's playing with your emotions any longer. It's you who's playing with your emotions. Because you are all but saying, once you realize that I am a manipulator and I've manipulated myself into your life and into your heart, you're all but saying to me, please continue to lie to me because I don't like the person that you are now. But it's who I really am. I just lied to get you. And the moment you have not acquired the strength to walk away because it's no good for you, you begin to lie to yourself. You all but say, I want this man so bad, but I have to learn. I want this man so bad that I'm going to learn to play the naive role because technically that's what I will expect from you. I will expect you to find happiness in being naive to me, and I would expect you to be happy to know that I'm lying to you. So I will manipulate you as long as you want to hang around and play with your feelings. It's sad, but it's the truth. When relationships come to an end, what the first thing people do is they try to get over the love. You see that you couldn't be further from handling it the right way. You see, when relationships come to an end and you've acquired the strength to realize it's not healthy for you and you need to walk away, the love is not meant to be exposed, to be discarded. You see, you earn the love. The love belongs to you. No matter if I was manipulative to you and manipulated you into falling in love with me, and the moment you realize that I'm not who you thought I was, the process to get over me goes into effect. And even when I lied to you, the happiness we shared when I was lying, you were sincere. You earned the love sincerely. So whatever I did doesn't hinder the real joy that you felt. So what I then become is I become a fictional character to you. It's kind of like your cartoon characters when you were a child, or your I don't know, TV shows, the fictional characters that you grow to semi love in these TV shows. That's what I become to you. The love you have for them is sincere, but in physical form, non-existence. You see, you keep the love. The love belongs to you. The body is tainted, it's polluted. So hold on to the memories. They will always be yours. But the body is rotten. And that's when it's time to walk away. Unless you learn how to play your role of being manipulated. I would like to, excuse me, excuse me. I would like to leave you with a simile, if I can. A relationship is like building your dream car. You put a lot of time and effort in it, and no matter how it turns out, that's time and effort you can't get back. But if you are successful enough to get it up and going and running, and it runs semi-perfect, but as you're going, you realize that the one thing that you didn't do was you didn't install brakes. One of the two things will happen when you have to stop. You will either run out of fuel or you will crash. Now, being as though you survive either form of stopping, you have the choice then to repair that same vehicle without brakes or refuel it and continue on that journey until it needs to be done again. If you understand what I'm saying, it's not too late to take your dream car back to the drawing board and add your brakes. Because the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing, expecting a different result. So, I'd like to close by saying, always remember to remove you from you to see you clearly. And always remember to add your own mind and common sense to the topic, so it won't be what I say, it'll be what we say. I'm your host, your conversationalist, Excel. Until the next time, let's keep acting the truth.